On a peaceful corner of Rosegate Street, under the glow of a soft North Carolina sun, a woman named Camille Booker walked home with calm poise and a heart full of pride. Her emerald necklace sparkled with each step, not just a piece of jewelry but a symbol of love from her husband, Justice Booker. Camille had just wrapped up a powerful keynote at the Rosegate Tech Forum where she addressed a captivated audience on artificial intelligence, ethics, and law enforcement data. She was dressed in a tailored cream blouse and charcoal slacks, the sort of confident professional attire that marked her as someone who belonged anywhere she chose to walk. Her name badge was still clipped to the side of her tote bag, reading, Camille Booker, Systems Architect. But as she turned onto Ellison Avenue, passing in front of the local police precinct, the peace in the air fractured. Officer Reed Mallory, leaning against a cruiser, spotted her. Mid-40s, weathered skin, and a haircut that suggested military aspirations more than style, Reed had spent 20 years in uniform. Not because of skill or excellence, but because he'd learned to survive within a system that rewarded obedience more than reflection. His eyes caught the shimmer of Camille's necklace. What triggered him wasn't the necklace alone. It was the posture. The pride. The way she didn't look down, didn't acknowledge him. Confidence in a black woman, to Reed, was a provocation. "Hey you," he barked. Camille turned, composed. "Yes, officer?" "That necklace. Where'd you get it?" She blinked. "It was a gift. From my husband." His stance widened. "Sure about that? Looks expensive." "Yes," she answered firmly. "Is there a reason you're asking me this?" He took a step closer. "You match a report." Woman with dark skin, fancy necklace, seen leaving a shop 2 blocks down. "I just left a professional event," Camille replied. She raised her badge slightly. "People like you always got a story," Reed sneered. Camille kept her voice calm. "People like me? You think you're above being questioned," he snapped. "Walk around like you own this place." "I earned where I stand." "You will be afraid," he muttered and reached for his radio. Camille knew exactly what was happening. This wasn't procedure. It was narrative building. "You're detaining me? On what grounds?" "Suspicion of theft." "Come with me." "You have no cause. You're suspicious." "That's reason enough." "I want to speak with your supervisor," she insisted. That's when Reed snapped. He yanked out his handcuffs and forced her hands behind her back, ignoring her rights and the gathering crowd. High schoolers began filming. A bakery patron gasped. "You're humiliating yourself," Camille hissed as he shoved her into the squad car. Inside, her expression remained composed. She reached into her coat pocket, discreetly pressing the emergency contact button on her phone. One silent call. One voice heard. 3 blocks away, Captain Justice Booker was exiting a city hall meeting. His phone vibrated, and the audio feed made his stomach drop. His wife's voice. And then Reed's. Justice turned on Ellison Avenue like a man possessed. Reed stormed into the station, dragging Camille like a trophy. He tossed words around. Bad attitude. Suspicion. Resisted by being arrogant. Officer Maya Ellis, a junior officer at the desk, looked up with unease. "What's the charge?" she asked. "Fancy chain. No receipt." "Typical." Reed shrugged. In the holding cell, Camille sat upright, unbroken. Outside, Reed continued bragging. She thought she could walk around like royalty. Well, she learned. Then the precinct door opened. Justice entered. His presence silenced the room. Clean-cut, uniform crisp, energy formidable. He didn't yell. He didn't need to. "I received a transmission," he said, voice like iron. "From the woman you arrested without cause." "My wife." The word wife detonated in the air. Reed turned pale. "Captain, I didn't—" "You didn't check her name. You didn't ask. You saw a black woman with dignity and decided that was threat enough." Reed stammered. "She got confrontational." "She asserted her rights." "That is not confrontation." "That is citizenship." Justice turned to Ellis. "You felt something was wrong?" Ellis nodded. "Yes, sir." "Remember that feeling. It's your compass." He faced Reed again. "Effective immediately, you're suspended. Badge, gun, desk, gone. You will undergo 6 months of bias rehabilitation and psychological evaluation." Reed's knees trembled. "Captain, please, I didn't mean to." "You thought you were untouchable. You thought authority was dominance." Camille finally stood. The cell had been unlocked. But she hadn't moved until now. Her heels clicked softly. "You tried to strip me of dignity," she said. "You failed. But I don't want you fired. I want you to learn. Understand the humiliation you caused." Justice asked her, "Are you sure?" "Yes. If we don't give him the chance to grow, nothing changes." Justice turned back to read. "You get your chance. One more mistake, and you're done." The next morning, news of the arrest and suspension spread across Rosegate like wildfire. Reed Mallory, once unshakable, now stood outside a gray building labeled Bias Accountability Program. Inside, cold fluorescent lights and indifferent faces greeted him. He sat in a circle with others, people who had been victims and enforcers of harm. The lead facilitator, Dr. Sonal Patel, didn't coddle. "Let's begin." Each person spoke. Brent heard stories of wrongful stops, trauma, children left crying. "Why are you here?" Dr. Patel asked him. "I made a mistake." "A big one." "What kind?" "I saw a woman. Proud. That made me angry." "Start there," she said. He did. He listened. He wrote. He confessed in private notebooks about the thrill of controlling others. The shame. The moments he ignored humanity. Slowly, he changed. Months later, he handed out pamphlets outside Rosegate High. "What to do when you're stopped by police." "Do you remember who you hurt?" one mother asked. "I do now," he said. When he returned to the precinct, he stood before Justice. "Why do you want to come back?" "Because I understand now. I don't want redemption. I want to make things right." Justice watched him. "You're on probation. No field work. You listen. You learn. No speeches. No praise. Just action." Brent nodded. He mentored recruits. Told his story. Stood at forums. Didn't justify. Only offered help. The real test came at a precinct dinner. Camille in a jade dress. Justice in black. Brent at the fringe. Justice nodded. Camille approached him. "I've heard things. Good things. I've been trying. Trying isn't an end. It's a beginning. You took something from me, but what you've done since. It doesn't give it back. It builds something else. Keep building." "I will." That night, Justice spoke. Power doesn't come from a badge. It comes from accountability. Years later, a plaque was placed at the precinct. In honor of the voices who demanded better. Brent walked past it daily. Never looked at the names. Only at the space beneath them, still waiting to be filled by those choosing to change.